As we stated earlier, the zodiac is not out there in space. It exists within. Each person is a living, breathing zodiac. Exoteric astrologers imagine that the movement of the planets and luminaries make prediction possible. This idea has no factual basis. Moreover, conventional astrological systems are very paraphernalia-oriented. The Taroscopic system is esoteric in nature and does not rely on compasses, protractors, computer programs, and complex astronomical charts. Astrology must be based on psychology, not astronomy and trigonometry. If we foolishly believe in an outer zodiac, or in rocks in space affect consciousness and destiny palava, then by definition we also endorse the preposterous concept of predetermination, which posits that we have no free choice. The ancient adepts never taught such nonsense, despite what so-called experts say. The high arts of divination were not originally based on fallacies of this kind. The Magi knew that man is not a passive actor in the theater of the universe, operating in accordance to a pre-written, unchanging script. After all, what does consciousness have to do with physical time? What does it have to do with distance, space, or speed? Each of these phenomena are projections of ego consciousness. They are applicable to physical objects and our perception of the material world. They have nothing to do with the mental and spiritual dimensions of being. After all, what does consciousness have to do with physical time? What does it have to do with distance, space, or speed? Each of these phenomena are projections of ego consciousness. They are applicable to physical objects and our perception of the material world. They have nothing to do with the mental and spiritual dimensions of being. Do our dreams occupy a space? Do they take time to cover a distance? Do they come and go at different speeds? Does thought operate according to these four principles? Can thoughts be timed in any practical or useful way? For example, if we suddenly take it into our minds to think of a running horse, we can see that the image and idea of the animal enters our minds instantly. We did not have to wait for the thought to arise as we would have to wait for a physical horse to appear before us. Moreover, a physical horse would have to be transported over a specific quantifiable distance. It would inhabit a space and be brought to us at a certain speed. Nothing of this kind occurs in the realm of thought. It certainly does not occur with the unconscious processes. Once we think of someone or something, the image is there instantly. It appears magically, as it were. In this context, knowing is instantaneous. It is beyond the realm of time. No muscle or machine is required for the mind of man to think or recall a horse, a tree, or a past memory. The mind is not a filing cabinet, data bank, or computer in the accepted sense. The human mind's concepts of its own workings is largely delusional due to centuries of miseducation and conditioning. Our ideas about our own minds, bodies, and souls are artificial and irrational because of perpetual indoctrination. Our ideas about astrology are equally delusional. Astrology has been erroneously based on abstract constructs that have no psychological relevance whatsoever. Although many astrologers use the words archetypal, spiritual, or psychological, their writings often show that they have little idea what these words really mean. The charts they create by means of ephemerae and astronomical computer programs and so on show that they're not working with true astrology at all. It shows that their notion of the zodiac and of divination are delusional. As the philosopher Nietzsche wrote, as long as you still experience the stars as something above your head, you lack the eye of knowledge. Once we understand the wisdom of this statement, we can create or recreate a truly archetypal astrological divination system. First, we must take a closer look at time and realize that there are, in fact, three kinds of time. There is clock time, measured by a clock or watch. There is seasonal time, measured by a calendar. And there is psychological time. This kind of time is different than the physical kinds of time, and it's measured by the zodiac. However, we do not mean the zodiac out there in space. The zodiac we refer to is also psychological or psychic in nature. It is the inner zodiac. It is the living oracle within every man and woman. Of course, the first two types of time are well known. In fact, we're all veritable slaves to them. They're certainly not doubted. But the lost truth is that these first two forms of time originate from the third. This is why they all feature 12 divisions, 12 hours, 12 seasons, and 12 signs. To adhere to the first two forms of time and ignore the third is sheer insanity. It is responsible for the disorder and disempowerment so prevalent in the world. Imagine living for a week or a month without your watch or calendar. Give it a try and see what happens. Your life will be in disarray. Now magnify this to the soul level and see the predicament of the psyche. There it is, afloat on the ocean of existence, lost in the labyrinths of matter without a thread. The universal intelligence did not intend our lives to be this way. It gave us the means to navigate safely through each and every sea and storm of life. Therefore, we will do well to bring the high arts of divination into our lives, because they are the compasses and charts we've been missing.